Hey, if you don't happen to know who I am, my name is Reece and I am the owner and founder of Define. And here at Define, we believe in giving you the high quality tools and education you need to define beauty for you. Because yes, you can buy any product from us, but if you don't know how to use it, you're not gonna help that product, reach its full potential. And you're essentially wasting money at that point. And that is absolutely not something that I want you to feel. I want you to feel like you are equipped with the knowledge on how to use our entire line. So today I'm going to teach you one look that I absolutely love with our brand new Rosé palette. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Before you get started applying any eyeshadow, we need to first prime our eyelids with some eyeshadow primer so that the pigment lasts longer and you're not going to see any fading or, eyeshadow that's essentially missing by the end of the day. So you'll want your dual camouflage stamper brush and your eyeshadow primer. Go ahead and load up your brush. The first thing you'll do is kind of outline the bottom of your brow, so you'll just kind of carve that out and then apply eyeshadow primer to the entire rest of your eyelid. I do have mine on already, however, it's been sitting for a while, so I am just going to apply some more and really take away that creasing. You guys could probably see the creasing that happens over time. So if you happen to be in the middle of your makeup and then you get distracted, the kids are screaming and you're like, okay, hold on, let me go figure out what's going on over there. Or you just had to take a quick break, then came back and you're like, oh, my eyeshadow primer's creasing, then just apply a little bit more and kind of blend it out with your dual camouflage stamper brush. I'm going to take my finger and just pat press over those areas so that they are concealed and ready to go. Or not concealed, but covered and ready to go. The next items you will need are going to be your fluffy crease brush, a towel to swipe it on, see? And then your Essentials palette, which I was just holding up to apply that primer. So we're gonna go in with our fluffy crease brush and grab some of that white out of the Essentials palette, press that from the start of your brow all the way up to the arch, and bring it down a little bit towards the inner corner of your eye. Same thing over here, pat press, and bring it down a little bit more. So essentially what the purpose of that shade is to block any dark colors that you'll use later on from going too close to the inner corner of your eye, because this is essentially the area that smoky eyes go wrong in. Because it's the first thing to hit the primer, it's going to stick and stay the best. So now we're done with the Essentials palette, and we're gonna switch into the Rosé palette, and we're still using the fluffy crease brush for the remainder of this tutorial. So, fluffy crease brush, make sure you swiped it on a towel, grab the white shade, and we're going to pat press that from the arch all the way down the tail and in the inner corner of your eye as well. Pat press, making sure that really locks into your eyeshadow primer. All right, see a little area that needs blended with the eyeshadow primer there. It's a lot harder when it sits for a while, I've noticed, because then you'll start to get some areas where it looks a little bit heavier and a little bit lighter with eyeshadow primer. So usually try to do your eyeshadow right away after you apply that primer. But that's just a quick little note, things I've learned over 5 years of doing makeup. So the next color you're going to want, without a dog hair on your brush, that's disgusting. Love my dogs for that. I find their hair everywhere. We're going to grab that peachy pink color inside the Rosé palette, tap off any excess, and we're going to feel for your brow bone, and you're going to pat press the first 50% of the way, and then gently blend downwards towards the inner corner of your eye for the remainder of what is on your brush with that color. Same thing on the other side, pat press, and blend down towards the inner corner of your eye. I feel like because I'm so pale, this color doesn't really pop. It's just like a very neutral, light peachy pink, and it kind of matches my skin tone, which cracks me up. Any other pale there we go, pale girls feel me? It's not super fun, and I cannot wait for the summer so I can get a little bit of a tan. But unfortunately, that tan is not gonna last very long, and I don't like that. So what you can do now is if you're like, yeah, I need some more blending on that area that I just applied my transition color, take your fluffy crease, swipe it on a towel, and then you're gonna gently go back and forth along that color that you just applied to make sure it is nice and diffused and not a harsh line. Okay, the next brush you're going to want, we're actually gonna switch. So we're not gonna be using the fluffy crease brush for this move. We're going to be using the precision crease. So here's the difference in the brushes. Fluffy crease, you can see V's out a little bit and has more bristles in it. Precision crease is, again, very precise. Those bristles don't have a lot of movement. So we're going in with the precision crease, and we are going to load up that kind of mauve shade here. At the end, it's matte. And essentially, we're going to do a little bit of a double transition with this color. So we already applied the peach pink transition, and we're going to go a little bit lower than that to add in our second one. So I'm going, the peach probably lies about here, and I'm going on the lower half of that to apply this, just right above my eyelid. So essentially I'm carving out where my eyelid is with this color that's very top. And I'm going back and forth to kind of place. You can pat press and then blend, really light, gentle pressure when you're doing this. Oh, that is so pretty. I absolutely love that. Sometimes I just make these tutorials up like off the top of my head based on makeup techniques I've used. So I had this in my head. I was like, I feel like this is gonna be executed really nicely. So I'm glad that my vision came true. That's something that's beautiful once you really understand how to do makeup, is you'll just be able to come up with something in your head and execute it really well. But trust me, this has taken 5 years of experience, so I do not expect you guys to be able to come up with things super fast when you're first learning by any means at all. I had to watch a lot of tutorials and figure out a lot of different ways to do my makeup before I was even really good at it. So now that we have that color applied with the precision crease brush, we are going to switch back to the fluffy crease, swipe it on a towel, and use it to blend that color. Very light pressure. We're going to blend it into that kind of peachy pink, making sure it's a nice and diffused color, but we're not losing a lot of pigment because we're not using a lot of pressure when we're blending. So you can see the difference in my two eyes here. This one is really gentle, really smooth. This is pretty harsh, and I want to make sure that it is soft and blended instead of being that crazy line that nobody wants. So back and forth, very gentle pressure. I am using my fingers to move the brush, not my wrist and not my elbow. So that helps with lighter pressure. All right, keep on blending, make sure everything looks good to go. See a little bit right here, that could use some work. And voila. So now we have that completely blended and we're ready to apply the rest. We're going to switch back to the precision crease brush. I'm going to swipe it, even though I'm using the same color. And we're going to grab that mauve again. And we're going to apply this to about the outer 20, maybe 30% of our eyelid. So I'm just pack pressing it right in that area. And you're going to see this is kind of creating a V. So what this look would kind of fall under the category of would be a cut crease look, if you are familiar with that makeup term. So you're almost creating like a V or a C, because you have it up here and you're bringing it down here as well. Making sure they connect on the side here. Same thing over here, letting that top connect to the bottom, only filling in about that outer 20 to 30% of the eyelid. What I love about doing a cut crease look is it gives a lot of depth to the corner of your eye so that the middle really pops. So honestly, I bet this would be great for those of you who have more deep set eyes, because it's going to make the middle of your eyeshadow really pop and accentuate that area where it seems like it's pretty dark or there's a lot of depth already behind your eye, you know, because it sits back a little bit. So I'm going to take the precision crease brush and actually use this to blend. I'm using very, very, very light pressure. I'm blending into the middle where it's going to be my next color. I'm blending this side. I cannot stress to you guys enough how gentle the pressure is that I'm using right now. I wish I could just do your makeup for you so I could be like, feel the pressure I'm using. But if you're not in person, that's a little bit harder to do. So just imagine using really, really, really light pressure, because I want to keep that pigment as in place as possible. If you need to apply a little bit more, you can absolutely go back and add some in as needed. Okay, so that is applied now. You guys can see that's really smooth, really gentle. And we are going to switch back to the fluffy crease brush. So a little bit of back and forth between brushes here. I know we're getting crazy. And we are going to use this kind of ballet slipper pink to really pop the middle of our eyelid. So I'm loading that up onto the fluffy crease brush, tapping off any excess, And now we are going to apply this wherever there's eyeshadow primer left. So I like to start a little bit closer to the inner corner of the eye when I'm applying this, and then I'll move it closer outside towards the edge, because I still want the edge to have that kind of mauve or almost like rosy pink left. I don't want to overtake it because this color packs a lot of pigment, and I don't want that to be too overpowering. So now I'm just pack pressing, letting it meet right where that mauve sits. So you guys can see that really just added a little pop of color, a little bit of shimmer to our look. And we're going to blend it, use very light pressure. We're going to blend into the top just a little bit, and we're going to blend in the middle here where it meets that red, barely using any pressure at all. Blending to the top here and blending the middle. That is today's look. If you guys wanted to take it up a notch, you could absolutely do a halo. So if you're not familiar with a halo, I would recommend watching tutorial 1 and 2 with the Rosé palette, because both of those looks had halos. But essentially what you would do is take your precision crease brush and then load up one of the darker colors. So either this shimmer here or this kind of mauve color here that's matte. You would take it, scribble about 50% of the way in, and then blend it out. But again, if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, definitely go watch tutorial 1 and 2, and that will explain a halo. But that would just intensify your eyeshadow a little bit. And honestly, I'm happy with where this is at, and I do have some clients in the salon today, and I don't want to be too dramatic with my eyeshadow. I'm not saying that a halo is dramatic, but it's a little bit more that I'm comfortable with today, especially since I have like male clients. If I had female clients, it'd be a little bit different, but since they're guys, yeah, anyways, we don't need to talk about that. So I am going to put on mascara real quick, and I'll show you guys which one I'm using. So if you like the look, this is essentially what you can purchase. So now we carry this at Define. This is Glow Skin Beauty's mascara. They have a volumizing formula, which is my personal favorite. We also carry a lash lengthening one. And then this is a lash thickener and conditioner, which essentially acts as a primer. So we, like I said, do carry this now at Define, but I'm gonna do this real quick and I will be right back. And here is the final look for today. I'll look down so you guys can see how that looks as well. But I love it. It's just an everyday look that's easy to wear. So if you want more tips, tricks, and techniques on how to do your makeup, I will put everything in the slide after this for our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and where you can find us. And then if you want to purchase anything that I mentioned in today's video, you can go to definebeautyforyou.com. And if you want to make sure you spelled everything right, that will also be in the slide after this. But thank you for joining me for today's tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. And here